Welcome everyone to another special edition here of One Nation Radio. This is your host, Rich Latta. Of course, here with my co-host, James Boyd. James, what's going on, man?
Not much, man. You done drug me into talking about the first half of pay-per-views for this year in WWE and the main roster. And so I guess we're gonna have to.
We're gonna have to tell the truth about a lot of stuff, and that's what we do here on One Nation Radio. We come to tell the truth about the foolishness that has gone on this year in 2018. It started as such a promising year with the Royal Rumble, and we're gonna get to it in a minute. But so we got plenty to talk about. Of course, it's our second end of the year show. If you guys didn't catch the NXT one, we did one of those last week. We will be breaking this up into part 1 and part 2. We're going to do the Royal Rumble through Extreme Rules. And then for the next show, which will come out Christmas on Lords of Pain, that will cover SummerSlam through TLC. So, so this is what a year to say the least. What did you, I know, James, you didn't see all the pay-per-views that we're going to discuss here, but I feel like you saw enough of them to know the general overall theme of all these things. What do you make of this year on pay-per-view in WWE?
Were there any pay-per-views that were just okay? It felt like either pay-per-view sucked or were good. There was no real in-between to say, that was mediocre. And even a lot of the ones that you consider good, I would say there's 2 that are great. But the ones that you consider good, they have some gigantic flaw in them, like Hell in a Cell, where the main event is just
abysmal.
Just
go away. Just get off my fucking TV.
Just a circle jerk of overbooking and shenanigans. You can say the same thing for SummerSlam. Imagine making that dude the champion. You're trying to make this dude the champion, and you're trying to gimmick your way out of all these ways to beat somebody because you don't really want to beat him. Is hey man, either make Roman the champion and really do it, or don't. But don't do all this shit. You're making him look bad. And then then Hell in a Cell, it takes a cake where they have a Hell in a Cell and a no contest on the same night where Randy Orton pins Jeff Hardy before he gets stretchered off because there must be a winner in Hell in a Cell.
We're gonna get to all that later.
It's unbelievable. Yeah, but it was rough in the first half, but the second half got a lot better. I would say, I think every pay-per-view we've had since SummerSlam has been a pay-per-view that you can actually give a thumb up to. But there's been issues with them, of course. But that spring, early summer thing, I think the only pay-per-view that people actually really liked was Money in the Bank. And I actually went back and watched Money in the Bank, but Backlash and Extreme Rules, I had no interest in actually going back to watch those. Just from the people that I trust talking about them, the matches there wasn't good, especially Backlash. Backlash so bad that it crashed Observer, or I'm sorry, F4W online.
Right.
You want to listen to the Brian review where they buried it.
Yeah. I might go listen to that actually again. I think I downloaded it to the phone before the crash, so I was able to hear it right away. So everyone else that got in late, I knew to stay up at that time because it was coming. But I guess we can begin the year with the Royal Rumble. As I mentioned, it was a year that, there was so much promise. And this was the event that started it. With, them going into the year with AJ Styles as the champion. And then, Brock is the champion. And they had a card set up. So just to run through the card real quick, had AJ Styles defeating Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. At this point, I knew something was up with AJ Styles' title reign because they had him in the opener of the Royal Rumble in a handicap match. I didn't know what the fuck that was. After that, we had the Usos and Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin. Remember that team? And there was a 2 out of 3 falls match where the Usos swept these boys. We had Shinsuke Nakamura winning the men's Royal Rumble. We had Cesaro and Sheamus defeating Seth Rollins and Jason Jordan to win the tag team championships. We had Brock Lesnar going over Kane and Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman losing to Brock Lesnar for the first of many times this year.
No. This year. Okay, this year. I was going to say, because that was the second time he lost to him, actually. Or third time, really. Because of SummerSlam and also No Mercy last year. But yeah, you mentioned the year I was ready to jump in and be like, oh, no. Losing to Brock Lesnar is what Braun Strowman does.
Yeah. And then Asuka won the women's Royal Rumble by last eliminating Nikki Bella. So I guess with the AJ Styles, we can get right to it. So AJ Styles' title reign, this was his first defense on pay-per-view. Excuse me, it was his second defense on pay-per-view. He had defeated Jinder Mahal previous month to banish him forever from the main event scene. And then he came into, the middle of the Owens and Zayn storyline where they started getting swallowed up. And we were left with this match as a result. Wasn't terrible or anything. Wasn't great. It was really weird. It opened the Royal Rumble. And I don't think the WWE Championship should ever be opening the show. I thought it was the slap in the face from day one. It would be the first of many slaps in the face for AJ Styles as the champion. Do you have any memories of this match, James?
Yeah, I remember the match actually being a good match. However, it's a match that no one actually wanted to see because either your champion loses in a match he should absolutely lose because it's 2-1, or you bury your two top heels as fucking geeks, and they decided to bury their two top heels as fucking geeks. And Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens have never recovered since.
Yep, and they're not even on TV because they're injured.
And they were in all sorts of problems before they even got went off TV anyway. Both of them.
Right. Like they would have been used as fodder for whoever at the time. Just not valuing guys and guys with talent that can actually go up and down for you on the card. After that,
better yet, not only talented guys, but Kevin Owens, somebody that's actually been to the mountaintop, was your second ever Universal Champion, and they decide we'll move you to the B show and then put you in booking or booking finish hell along with AJ Styles. AJ Styles, I would love to hear his emotions on the storylines behind his creative. But for somebody that people complain about gets pushed to the moon and he's been champion and he never loses, all this kind of shit. He's had so many clusterfucks for finishes in the last year and a half that are almost 2 years. Is yeah, they pushing that spot, but
not really
that way. Even though he's still the best wrestler in the company, it's so weird how they treated that dude.
Yeah, it was the first of a lot of disappointments, but the Usos defeated Gable and Benjamin, and I remember at the time I had kind of got on WWE for their predictable 2 out of 3 falls, matches, and I was like, I want to see them change it up, do a sweep or something just to surprise us, and they fucking did it. So they did a really long first fall on this, and it was really good, and then they did a flash finish for the second fall. It was all right, fine, y'all listen, thank you, you switched it up. The Usos were fresh off of being the best tag team in WWE in 2017, and this thought we were going to just keep the momentum rolling around, and this was a night of good things, so we kept the good vibes rolling there. After that, we had the men's Royal Rumble. For my money, the greatest Royal Rumble of all time. And that goes from first time winner, someone that people actually want to see win, coming on the heels of all the terrible Royal Rumbles, putting your guys in positions to feed the sub story of the match. And then cool moments, the 3-on-3 with Balor, Nakamura, and Balor, Nakamura, and there was one more guy.
Oh, Balor, Nakamura, and Roman. And then on
yes.
on
the other side.
On the other side is Orton, Cena, and Rey.
Right, and then they broke that down even further and put Balor and Nakamura against Cena and Roman, and then from the first, we had Finn Balor being an Iron Man throughout the whole match. They had just cool spots throughout the whole match. Adam Cole was in the match. Andrade Cien Almas was in the match. For me, I just remember glowing about this Royal Rumble. The finishing sequence was incredible. They, of course, put Roman Reigns in his customary spot, scaring the hell out of you, making you think that he's going to be winning the Royal Rumble again.
Yeah.
And then also, it was his normal traditional spot of him getting thrown out in main eventing WrestleMania anyway. You know, you can take that back a couple years. But yeah, Nakamura, like, this was like their attempt to rebuild him into whatever, and then it was so great at the time. What did you remember about this match, James?
I remember thinking the same thing. I remember thinking that this was one of the best Royal Rumbles of all time, if not the very best one. Is the one that I probably say was the best booked from top to bottom. With you mentioned having Finn Balor through the whole time. This is back before Finn Balor was completely murdered, but he was still, fresh off of the burial from Kane.
Hey, he didn't never get that win back either.
Bruh. So you have that. You had the NXT call-ups, and they were fun to see, and none of them got embarrassed. Like, you had the cool Andrade RKO spot. You had the surprise, which was Ray coming out, and that was huge. And it was also like a feel-good moment because last time Ray was in a Royal Rumble, remember he came out at 30 at the 2014 Rumble and he got the shit booed out of him. One of the greatest baby faces of a generation gets booed because he's not Daniel Bryan. It's nice for him to come back and get that huge pop, and it's almost like an impetus for him to come back eventually because of how well the reaction was received. And then you have the final six, and then the final four, and then it's Nakamura versus the two Golden Boys, or two of the Golden Boys, and then Nakamura somehow wins, and it's like this is a perfect setup. Like, it's almost like you can see like this is exactly what Vince had planned for Roman in 2015, except it wasn't it's Roman instead of Nakamura, and on the other end it's Roman and it's Cena instead of Big Show and Kane, right? So it's like, okay, people are tired of these two guys always getting these top spots or whatever else, and they want to see something fresh, as opposed to like you're pushing a guy that's not ready yet, and people want this other guy to be in that spot. So it was great, and also we knew like he wasn't going to go out to WrestleMania and fight Nakamura, or say he was going to fight Brock Lesnar. This was to fight AJ Styles.
Right.
You want to see that, especially the people that never saw the Wrestle Kingdom 11 match. Is that 11?
10.
The Wrestle Kingdom 10 match, which is like, we'll get to that when we get to that match, or we get to the WrestleMania match. But like at that time, it just felt like this was a great overall job well done for everybody. And then like it kept going by the time we got to the main event.
Right. And they just like, from up and down, like they had Rusev in the beginning. People didn't revolt. They had all the funny shit with Elias and Heath Slater, who was just laying there, and everyone was laying him out as they came in.
That's right.
The New Day and Kofi did like a great spot.
Yeah, that was like the best one he had done in a few years.
Right. Dolph Ziggler came back. That was like stupid at number 30, and he had walked out on a promotion. I think that was a scar, but they got over it. Yeah, but
Rich.
Yeah.
Dolph Ziggler won the U.S. title, left it in the ring because he wanted something better. Shows up at the Royal Rumble, then ends up getting moved to Raw, and what does he do? He spends all year fighting Seth Rollins for the Raw equivalent of the U.S. title.
Yeah.
No one ever talked about it.
Fuck us. Just fuck us.
No one ever.
And he also spent a smooth 2 minutes in the Royal Rumble as well. But they had the Hurricane coming back. Cena was there also. This was just up and down. Like it was a great Royal Rumble. Just everything was handled with so much care. Only thing I would probably suggest would have been I would have liked to see them do something better with Seth Rollins than Roman Reigns, give him the Hulk Hogan wrist elimination and be like, oh well, my buddy threw me out. You know,
I forgot about that.
I'll just walk my ass back to the back, you know, and then defend my tag team title after this. I don't care. Fuck this. Like this was in the height of like Seth Rollins just but after that, we did have that tag team match I was talking about.
Well, if I remember correctly, like wasn't the Gauntlet like 2 weeks away or a week away?
They didn't do that until the build up to Elimination Chamber.
Right.
Yeah, might have been a couple weeks.
Yeah. So quick.
Yeah. Then we had that tag team title match. Cesaro and Sheamus going over Rollins and Jordan. This was Jason Jordan's like last match to date. He barely did anything, didn't tag in, and he's got neck issues. Hopefully he comes back. Boy, had he been available when they were scrambling like last month or two, that man might have gotten a rocket put on him. Bad timing.
Like that would have been bad. That would have been just as bad. Like, a babyface and everyone's rejected for a full year, and you're still pushing. Like, this been far worse than the Roman Reigns thing.
Yeah. Then after that, we had Brock Lesnar going over Kane and Braun Strowman in a triple threat match. Of course, Braun Strowman was put in this match because he was not allowed to win the Royal Rumble, because it would have looked stupid had he been that dominant to not win the Royal Rumble. This was to put him in the match and not pin him. And this was just part one of the elaborate fuck job of Braun Strowman that's gone on to this very day. Don't ever get over by being the most over. Like in WWE, don't. You know, is not worth it. I've said, you know, things to that effect before. Like, don't get over by trying to be the best wrestler. Don't try to be the most over. Nothing, because literally they pick people for this shit. Yeah, and this match is famous for Lesnar giving Strowman that right hand, that real right hand to the head, because he was, you know, acting up too much. He was too excited. Lesnar had to calm that man down, essentially. But Kane was in there to take the pin, and he took the pin, and Strowman began his year of getting moved out the way for literally everybody else.
I have nothing else to say. You're absolutely 100% right. I have no notes.
Like this match existed for no other reason. They literally rolled Kane out of fucking wherever, like, and then gave him a couple TV wins, put him in the match, try to make us all feel like we should be afraid of the big red machine, like it's 1998. No, motherfucker, you're the mayor now. Like this Kane shit's over. Like it's done with. And then, Braun Strowman just forever the bridesmaid, never the bride.
Yeah. And we mentioned it earlier when we talked about the Royal Rumble match, but the men's Royal Rumble match, that Finn Balor was cannon fodder for this. Like he was absolutely absolutely a bystander in the build of Kane for him to take a pin versus Brock Lesnar, as if like Kane can't just come out there and just get pinned. Like you have to build him to get pinned.
Or Finn Balor just can't come out there and get pinned. Like, but you know, Finn Balor, like if Finn Balor versus Brock Lesnar happens, that means Braun Strowman has to win the Royal Rumble, and that can't happen. So they gotta, you know, move him around. Or
they could shoot an injury angle where like three terrible heels, where a terrible heel faction all of a sudden gets up and starts planning to take you out by injuring you, so you miss the Rumble, and they get guys revenge. Then they could have done that, but no. They had the same for this year.
Yeah. Just so much with Strowman. It's just, and also the Roman Reigns Brock Lesnar match was hanging over all this. We all knew it was happening. Well 99% of us knew it was happening. So after that, we got the Women's Royal Rumble, which went over. It was very fun on the night. Asuka got the win by last eliminating Nikki Bella. But let's not get it fucked up, Chief. This was the match of Sasha Banks. This was Sasha Banks coming in at number 1 and going 54 minutes in the Wonder Woman costume, and all the women from the past getting cycled in, and just a lot of like good fun moments and all that. I think we may have like overrated it a little bit in the moment, but I think it was still a really good Royal Rumble.
Look, okay, so there are moments. I don't even get into the part of I don't even get into the it's been overrated thing. there are matches that you give ratings to based off of how the match made you feel and how much fun you had or how entertaining it was. And then there are matches that are a certain level based off the rewatchability. Not every single every Brock Lesnar match that we think is good or whatever else that we've gotten from the last 2 years, those matches on rewatches aren't good. However, those matches in time when it happened, they were good, and you can't take away the fact of what they were when they were live at the time when you were watching it. And I think we get lost in the rewatchability because we get so many great matches and it almost feels like there's no time to go back and rewatch things, so we hold that stuff against it. But at that point in time when we got there and got to the end of it, like that was a very fun occasion. And then the post match stuff was also interesting, and we thought that we were headed somewhere really special. And we actually got there, except we didn't go through the way that we thought we were going to get there to get to where we are with the women, where like the women are the biggest stars in the whole entire roster right now. So, and they're different women too. Speaking of that too, but it's interesting. So, I think this show overall, like that match, and because we thought a lot about the pitfalls of putting certain women at because of time away from the ring or lack of match time period or lack of, possible care for the match, that we thought this match could be a complete clusterfuck. And it turned out to be a good match. So, all you have to do is give me a good match for me to be okay with it. And so congratulations, that was a good match. And unless you throw in, one of the greatest Rumbles ever with it, like huge success, super happy. New winners, all that. Like, I thought, 2 new stars were built.
Yeah.
I was wrong, but
yeah, it was it up, like people were on cloud 9. I went on Chad's show with Dave Finishell, and we just heap praise on WWE. For all the people that be like, "Oh, you're so negative. You're so," I'm like, no, go listen to that show when they came out here and took intricate care of every single thing in the booking and just feeling the temperature of the room, seeing where people were leaning, and then rewarding everybody. And it just like everyone was going nuts after that. And then they literally never did it again throughout the whole year, or maybe, a couple times throughout the year, and leaned way away from that. So for me, this was the peak of 2018.
Yeah. So this was my immediate take about it, and I made a comment about it because I rarely ever post inside of the wrestling group, the Square Circle. But I said, at a world champion mainstream box office drawing Shoot Fighter officially made 2 newer stars with Rumble victories, gave hardcore fans a WrestleMania match to anticipate, preserved the WrestleMania Championship rematch that he's been dead set on doing for 3 years, brought back a living wrestling legend to draw in Mexico, spotlighted both female and male NXT champions on the second biggest show of the year, created a new Royal Rumble format that gives every match proper time to matter while also almost all the main roster and on pay-per-view and created a new Royal Rumble format that gives every match proper time to matter while also getting almost all of the main roster on pay-per-view and effectively main evented a new unit attraction to draw the underserved half of the population. Bravo, Vince. Like, this was a master stroke of booking. This was like one of the best shows they've ever done from a booking perspective of you did all of this stuff and it was fresh and it felt like you turned a new leaf and it felt like a new chapter. What they did with it after the fact, it all went to shit, but
then they fucked it all up.
They fucked around and gave us hope, Rich. They fucked around and gave us hope. So I guess we have to go to the next pay-per-view from there.
Yep, and it begins with the Elimination Chamber of 2018. So matches here: Alexa Bliss defeating Sasha Banks, Bayley, Mickie James, Sonya Deville, and Mandy Rose in the Elimination Chamber match for the Raw Women's Championship. Cesaro and Sheamus defeating Titus Worldwide. Asuka going over Nia Jax. Matt Hardy going over Bray Wyatt. And Roman Reigns winning the Elimination Chamber to become the number 1 contender for the WWE Universal Championship. Where would you like to begin, James?
Guess we start from the top, right?
Yeah. So they not only put 6 guys in this Elimination Chamber match, They put 7 guys in the Elimination Chamber match.
For no reason.
Yes. So on TV, they had Elias going over John Cena. They put Elias in at number 7 to make sure he wasn't in the match for any real amount of time because he ain't really ready like that. And they had Braun Strowman get rid of every single other motherfucker in the match.
He pinned every single one with weren't all of them with power slams?
Yep. All to bow down before Roman Reigns like the West Side Connection. And you already know what it is. To set up Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar. And it was like, we saw it coming from a mile away. It was reported in March of 2017 what the main event was. It was just like, I remember writing a column at the time. I was like, Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns was always happening. Now, can you live with it? Like, like it was just like, yo. And it was like people we really talk a lot of wrestling with. Like, I don't know how people were fooled like this. It was literally laid out in front of you at every single moment. Back to No Mercy 2017 when they had John Cena do a job clean for Roman Reigns, and they had Braun Strowman do a job clean for Brock Lesnar, and then they put him in a triple threat match not to pin him. What was there not to see, James?
Yeah, I think the main thing is there are people like me and you that don't give them any creative benefit of the doubt because they've earned because based on what they have done over the years, they don't deserve any benefit of the doubt or any faith that they're going to follow through on something, something that they do that when they come across something nifty or cool or something that's hot or take layups or whatever else. So, and other people, they haven't learned that lesson yet. They just haven't. So that's how you end up with Braun Strowman. Strowman is up, mowing through 5 other guys in a row, and then at the end he takes a fucking pin.
Off of 2 spears, if I'm not mistaken, and that was it. And it was like, wow, Braun Strowman moved around again. Literally, we don't know what's going to happen to this dude. And then we saw, we'll get to that later. But Alexa Bliss, another one. So instead of, getting the Sasha Bailey thing popped off, nah, bro, we got to make room for Alexa Bliss versus Nia Jax. And this was the night where she started that thing with the promos where she was fooling people, but the disingenuous heel promo, which is a babyface promo that she turns on a dime, and I guess that counts as a character, which I feel like you got to throw that away forever with the rise of Becky Lynch. But did you go back and watch the Women's Elimination Chamber? Because I actually didn't see this whole match.
I don't believe I have, but I remember the gist of the story in the match was that Mickey takes the first fall. Why? I don't know, because Mickey and Alexa had reunited by that point in time. And they were friends. So it made no sense you would think that because she's a chicken shit champion, that she was going to use her as protection, right? But she gets out of there immediately before Alexa even comes out. And then we get to a point where Alexa gets out, and she is literally running away from all types of physicality in the match. Like, she's basically pulling an entire Miz job / heel that's in a 3-way, sits out on the floor while the other people go at it because they don't want no smoke, and it tries to make an opportunity, tries to get there an opportunity advantage, try to take advantage of people back turn or whatever else, much like Charlotte Flair. Anyway, so she is literally running from getting beat up the whole match. And then I believe it's the final 3 where it's Bayley, Sasha, and Alexa. And Bayley and then Charlotte, not Charlotte, my goodness. Sasha basically does the Lion King Scar and Mufasa deal with throw your ass off to get trampled by the wildebeest below. And we thought this was a perfect heel turn, and they were going to start. And this is going to start, and this is going to start and transition into this is time for Sasha's run because it fell in line with how she was acting at Royal Rumble, where she was acting kind of heelish at points, where she was going back and forth with Trish or whoever else. She double crossed Bayley, or she threw Bayley out also, which is heelish regardless of however you want to, pretend that Hulk Hogan won the dick or Roman Reigns isn't a dick, whatever else. So she ends up losing to this woman that ran, and she lost clean, if I remember correctly. Like, it wasn't like, she just barely got rid of Bayley, and then Alexa came out and then like got her from behind. Like, nah, she just flat out lost. And then you're just left like, okay. So after that, they give Alexa a post-match interview, and she's like on the verge, and she's like pretending to cry, because like as if she actually fought like a hero or anything like that, even though she ran the whole fucking match. And then people really bought that she was actually, endearing herself to the fan base. And then she turned, and the crowd like fell for it. And I'm sitting at home just like, do you idiots not watch what happens in these matches? Like, I understand that most of this WWE shit is just like homogenous, and there's very little storytelling that stands out from anything else. But this whole match, she ran and ran and ran and ran and ran. That's not like a fucking hero to you. I don't understand. Like, am I confused? You really thought that she was like, you love me, you really love me, I love you too? No, you idiots. So that was one of the beginning for this year, when like Alexi's like, okay, so you're just like, every time we have a good match with the women, involve multiple women, like, you are left to the side and you don't do jack shit most of this match, and then you just come in.
We got lots of proof.
Like, okay, we get what's going on here. We peeped that. And it's so funny because I was actually listening to this Saturday night's Observer Radio, and Meltzer finally, like, for the second time actually,
he spilled the beans.
He actually addresses like, yeah, the company really loves her. Like, that's the reason why she's getting these opportunities, because they really love her. It's like, it's not like, oh, she's a good wrestler. It's like, no one, that's honest about it, like, believes she's a good wrestler. They think I think it's unfair to say she's bad or she sucks, but she is not on par with like the top women in the promotion as of right now, as far as in the ring. And as far as talking about how good of a character she is, like, that's been very overstated over the last 2 years. And to the point where, like, yeah, you see what a good character looks like now when you tune in SmackDown every single week and hear Becky out here dropping bombs on fools. So, like, great. Like, we pushed and pushed and pushed for this average ass wrestler. Congratulations.
Yeah. They played themselves. And by the time, she got to Ronda, yeah, it was just completely unbelievable. Rest of this show, nothing really to recommend or even go over. Anyway, the next pay-per-view that we had, wasn't there? Oh,
I'm thinking of Fastlane. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yep.
So gonna load up Fastlane. And this was the only SmackDown-only pay-per-view of the year. Thus, it was AJ Styles' only main event opportunity with the WWE Championship. So let's take a look at this card. Now, Nakamura was in the opener, defeating Rusev. Randy Orton and Bobby Roode have one of just the most boring nothing matches you'll ever find for the U.S. title. And it's just like Randy Orton's like the king of that style, right? And then Bobby Roode is just like the middle of the average. And once you get to WrestleMania, it's like you add in Jinder Mahal, like, who's even worse than Bobby Roode. So it's like 3 levels of that shit. Like, and then after that, we had Natalya and Carmella defeating Becky Lynch and Naomi. The Usos versus the New Day having a great match until the Bludgeon Brothers ran in, and it was a no contest, and it was the beginning of the deconstruction of the tag team division, which would plague both brands throughout most of the year. Charlotte Flair defeating Ruby Riott. So we're going to go through these.
And a match that would have been good if Charlotte had been more on her game. This might have been the worst, like, main roster pay-per-view match that I remember, like, or performance by Charlotte that I can remember, because, like, stuff was getting messed up in the match, and I'm watching. I'm like, none of this is on Ruby. It was really weird.
And then we had AJ Styles in a 6-pack challenge for the WWE Championship against John Cena, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Dolph Ziggler, and Baron Corbin. So AJ Styles whooped the whole division, essentially. Cleaned them all out.
Yeah, but one thing I will say, like, this was like one of the better like main events of the year on pay-per-view.
Yeah, and I don't think anyone even talks about it because it is a 6-man match.
Right.
I don't talk about it because it's just like I really I'm so over the multi-man matches with WWE. They've just done it so many times. But AJ Styles did pin Kevin Owens, I believe, to win this match, or did he pin Cena? If I'm not mistaken.
I don't really remember. I'm trying to find out right now to try to jog my memory, but I can't. Hold on, let me.
Kevin Owens. It was
Owens.
Kevin Owens. Yeah. So SmackDown only. If you look at the card, you can kind of see some of the weaknesses throughout this. The Rude and Orton were just kind of falling flat. Nakamura and Rusev was pretty good. This was at a time where Rusev Day was really hot as a heel act, and then they were trying to feed some of it towards Nakamura or whatever. And I was like, this doesn't really need to happen because all it's going to do is hurt Rusev because he's not going to beat Nakamura. Nakamura could have went over someone else in this, lead up, but they decided not to. I would have done Jinder Mahal in this spot just to give him a win back over that dude who like fucking began the ruination of him. I would have put him in there and been like, all right, have him challenge for the number 1 contender match. And then if he wins, then Jinder would take the spot against AJ Styles. But the thing was, I would have destroyed him with Nakamura. Just Bomaye knee after Bomaye knee after Bomaye knee over and over, and just completely like establish that what y'all saw last summer is not what's going on right now. This is a new day. This was Nakamura's last real babyface performance or whatever. And I would have had him go over really strong over Jinder Mahal here, but they didn't do that.
I mean,
it was a good match though.
Yeah, but I will say this: like, you can't say that they would never do such a thing because they just had like in this same situation the month before they just had Roman Reigns beat Braun Strowman after Strowman whooped his ass all the beginning of a year ago. So like they definitely could have like just completely washed their hands of the year before and been like, we're moving in a whole different direction. It's time to forget that old shit. We're on to something else.
Yeah, rest of this show, nothing really memorable for me. Except the beginning of the deconstruction of the tag team division that the Usos and the New Day built up so high. They said, fuck that, we doing something else. So
yeah,
not really a great show. If you want to see, the main event, just to see all those guys in there with Cena, small recommend on that. So like through the first 3 shows, like I've definitely got the Royal Rumble match, both Royal Rumble matches, the men's elimination chamber, and the 6-pack challenge.
Yep.
And the Nakamura Rusev match. Everything else, no. And that
I agree with you.
And that brings us on to WrestleMania 34, a show with such a great build-up, a show that felt like we were going to see the greatest WrestleMania of all time. It had everything. It had their big fucking match that they wanted to do. It had AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura in a dream match. It had the return of Daniel Bryan. In the shadows had Undertaker versus John Cena lurking. It had Angle and Rousey against the Authority. It had Charlotte and Asuka. It had Seth Rollins defending in a triple threat match. You had Alexa Bliss about to finally get dethroned out here. And who would think that everything would just go fucking wrong? And just this show became the 20th best WrestleMania of all time. I've gone through it. I've looked, and it's like, based on what we got, I've got 20 WrestleManias better than this, or 19 WrestleManias better than this.
Yeah, like it was
such a disappointment. Such a disappointment.
Yeah, I mean, you can make an argument that like how it starts, like after we get past like the Rousey match, everything's downhill from there.
So
everything's downhill from after that.
Let's go through the card. Matt Hardy won the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. Pretty fun. Cedric out.
Oh, hold on. He wins the Battle Royal. He had been feuding on TV with the Hardy Compound shit that he used to do in TNA with Bray Wyatt. And then Bray Wyatt at the end of the night, after he wins it, shows up and they become a tag team.
Yep. And Cedric Alexander defeated Mustafa Ali in about 12 minutes. Kind of toned down from what those dudes normally do. They actually had a match that happened the day Enzo Amore, the news came out about him on 205 Live, like that very week. That was excellent. I think I would prefer that to their WrestleMania match. By no means was it a bad match. By no means was it just a good match. But you definitely felt like if you gave them 9 more tries, they would have done better 9 more times. Yeah. Naomi won the WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal, which was originally named the Fabulous Moolah Battle Royal, just in one of the more tone-deaf moments of the year. Naomi went over for really no reason at all.
None. Other than to make Sasha and Bayley more geeks more than they already were. Like this is the year where the camel broke it, like where the straw broke the camel's back on like booking Sasha like shit, to where it was like she still felt like a star. The crowd still reacted to her like a star, even last year, even though y'all treat her like shit. And then like by the time we got to where we are now, like nope, she's a geek just like Bayley is. So if I remember correctly, the final 3 are Naomi and Bayley and Sasha. And as we've noted, Sasha has screwed Bayley over at the Royal Rumble and also at Elimination Chamber. So they're on edge with each other in their relationship. And Bayley finally gets her chance, and she's the one that actually gets the upper hand and takes advantage of Sasha and throws Sasha out. So
like nothing, like with no struggle, like they stared each other down, and then Bayley just gave her the Hulk Hogan elimination. If y'all don't know what that is, grab the back of the neck and with the flick of the wrist, just throw you over the top rope.
Yeah. So the crowd pops for it because they think it's like, okay, we're going to get a Sasha versus Bayley feud.
Nope.
Like 8 months later, where's that? Rich, do you see Sasha versus Bayley out this bitch? Because I don't.
I do not.
Like Sasha versus Bayley. What about? Where's that? So,
what are these things you speak of?
Yeah. So Naomi's just like there watching like these two go through their relationship situation, and she's like, "All right, throw your ass out too, Bayley. You're a geek. I win."
Yeah.
Play my theme music. Like this.
Yes. Look, it's time to dance my way out the Superdome. Like, then we got the opener for the main card.
Quick question. So next year, going to WrestleMania 35, does the Naomi like Battle Royal streak continue? Or multi-woman WrestleMania match streak continue? Does she win at WrestleMania 35? Does she go 3-0?
We don't know. We'll keep track. We'll have to watch out for that. Okay. So if she ends up in the women's battle royal, I know who I'm picking. Like at this rate. So the opener of the main card of WrestleMania, mind you, everything we just talked about does not count, as they later established at Survivor Series. Seth Rollins went over The Miz and Finn Balor in the opening match of WrestleMania for the Intercontinental title. He took the belt off of The Miz, and this was a very good match, and it was like a solid opener, and it was like, wow, okay, perfect way to open the show. Kind of disappointed Rollins ended up in the opener, whatever.
Yeah.
He was there a while.
Yeah, also kind of disappointed that Finn Balor on the biggest show of the year, like shows up without the paint on.
Oh yeah, that was fun.
Like it's cool that he wants to take, that he wants to get all of the money for the Finn Balor or for the Balor Club merch, and I mean all the money. And good for him. Go get that money. There's money to be gotten. That is an underserved section of the fan base. However, They protected him after beating the piss out of him for the previous 4 months from that point. And he has a chance to actually, win a title, be a mid-card guy, and then he can build back or whatever else. And they decide, like, nope, you're going to come out. You're not going to wear the paint. We're going to protect the paint for whatever for reasons. And then you're going to come out here and you're going to lose. And I was like, okay, like if he's going to lose, fine. It's a good thing that if he's going to lose, he's not going to wear the paint. I see it the same way that Scott Hall used to talk about his the Razor's Edge. He's like, or the Outsider's Edge. It's like, oh, I'm losing. I'm not using my finish. You're not finna like kill that. So yeah. I'm cool with that. Really good match. And there's really good opener. Like I'm sure you've thought about this before, but like how many openers have been better than that for WrestleMania?
Okay, so quickly as we go through it, WrestleMania 1 I won't count. WrestleMania 2, I don't remember what the opener was. WrestleMania 3, no. 4, that's a tournament match. 5, don't worry about that. 6, don't worry about that. 7, that would be, don't worry about that. WrestleMania 8, Shawn Michaels, Tito Santana, no. Shawn Michaels, Tatanka, people will argue for, I found out, but no. WrestleMania 10 is better. 11's not. 12 is not. 13 is not. 14 is not. 15, I don't remember the opener for that. I think that's that tag team match. 16, I don't remember the opener for that. 17, that is Jericho and Regal, a nice 7-minute match, but no. 18, I don't remember the opener for that. 19, Matt Hardy and Rey Mysterio, not long enough. 20, Cena and Big Show, really fun in retrospect. But I think this is a better match than that. 21, Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero, probably not better than. You're thinking about 22. Don't remember the opener for that, unless it was a Money in the Bank match, maybe. I don't think you want to count those in this. 23, don't remember. 24, nothing's ringing a bell. I think that's JBL and what's his name? Finley. In like a street fight or whatever. WrestleMania 25. Do you remember the opener for WrestleMania 25?
It wasn't a Hardy Brothers. No, I don't. I just can't. It might have been Money in the Bank. It might have been Money in the Bank.
It was Money in the Bank. Okay. 26 was also Money in the Bank. 27 was bro. Like that's wrecking my brain. I know it's not like there's nothing there for that. 28, that's Daniel Bryan and Sheamus. 29, that's that Shield 6-man. 30, Daniel Bryan and Triple H is better.
Right.
31, the Money in the Bank. 32.
That wasn't Money in the Bank. That was an IC ladder match.
Yeah, sorry. And so was WrestleMania 32. And WrestleMania 33, AJ and Shane, I would say is better. But okay. This is probably like the 4th or 5th best WrestleMania opener ever.
Okay.
Then we had Charlotte and Asuka for the SmackDown Women's Championship. So on early in the night, Charlotte and Asuka, they had 13 minutes to do their thing. Would have liked to see them get 5 more minutes. Charlotte was the star of the night, I feel like. She had all the gold, the entrance with Rick's music breaking into hers, the full circle of her being one of Triple H's props in the entrance, to her getting her own props, and finally being on top. Asuka coming in undefeated, and they had a high-paced, high-energy match. James, I know you love this match.
Yes, this is for me, like, that's my favorite women's match. That's my favorite singles women's match on pay-per-view that on the main roster of all time. Like they killed it. I wish the match would have had 3 more minutes to try to make sense of Asuka after working over Charlotte's arm for the Asuka lock or the arm bar. Like it would have made sense for her to, after doing all that work, for her to actually have some type of leg damage or whatever else, and then like tap out to the figure 8 the figure 8. But whatever, like the match was awesome. Very happy, very, very happy about it. But That was a thing. Like at times, like this could have been. It was almost perfect, and like I felt like it was presented so well that it was like this one thing is gonna fuck with me for like until the end of time, and I've let it go now at this point. or I've been trying to let it go ever since it happened. But like other than that, like I love the match.
Then we had a fatal 4-way for the United States Championship. Jinder Mahal won the belt, so they just had to belt that guy up for a week. They put Rusev in the match at the last minute just to make him lose, to further throw Rusev Day into the bin. Randy Orton gets to mail in around his birthday. Is always WrestleMania, so he just gets to mail it in a nothing match. Bobby Roode, as I said, Orton's on one level, then it's Rude, and then it's Jinder. Then we got the mixed tag match between Kurt Angle and Ronda Rousey, and Triple H and Stephanie McMahon.
The main event?
Oh yeah, if you want to cut the show off after this, yeah, sure.
Like if you want to remember WrestleMania 34 fondly, you cut that shit off right here right after this match.
So parts of the match, it was looking like what the fuck is happening because Kurt Angle's just old and Ronda's inexperienced and Stephanie was actually pretty good in the match. And then like about midway through the match, it was like, oh wow, this is actually like kind of fun and going well. And Triple H goes out there and shows ass for Rousey and all this other stuff, and it was just like the peak of like this is when Vince McMahon has this idea of sports entertainment. That's what this is.
Yes. Give us and there's the reason why it's so frustrating to be somebody to have grown up with Vince's fucking shenanigans, because when Pat Patterson was around and it was Jim Cornette and Jim Ross and they're all part of the booking committee, and on the other side you have Vince and Russo and Michael Hayes, and they're trying to come up with their wacky shit. And there's able to be a counter. They're able to basically balance each other out between the wackiness and also trying to sell stories of try to sell stories in the ring as well. Like you would get from time, there was plenty of good stuff between like that room of good things that they gave you or whatever else. And then you growing up on that and then knowing how wrestling has evolved over that time, over those 20 years, like you have an expectation of knowing like what a good story is. Like, for example, the Royal Rumbles. Royal Rumbles are all just complete clusterfucks that are dependent on the story you're trying to tell based on how good they're going to be, right? So with this, you had these people that are capable, but one is capable, but she's green as all hell. She same Stephanie, she's green as well, but she's been in the ring a few times and she's been in matches that have been good with decent stories. And then
former champion
Triple H, who's done it all. You have Angle that's done it all, except Angle's old and beaten up, and Triple H is less so that. So all that came together, and this was like they knocked this one out the park. Like this has to be on. Like, I mean, I don't know if you're going to talk about Ronda as a whole or this match in particular, but like either one has to absolutely be on Success of the Year when we do the One Nation Radio Awards, right? Because
I think this match as a whole is on there.
Yes, okay, well that should be on it because this thing was like, wait, we've seen celebrities in wrestling matches, and it's a lot of smoke and mirrors and for a short amount of time. She did so much more than we were expecting. She was so much more impressive and seemed so much. The moment wasn't too big for her either. Everything about this match was impressive aside from like Angle at the beginning of the match.
Yeah, this was like the first time I watched Kurt Angle, first of many this year, that was like, yo, he ain't got it, Chief. Like Angle's just like, God bless him. Like, he's a little washed, Chief. But yeah, that was a fun match, and from there, WrestleMania just literally turned left. After that,
real quick question. Yeah. Then we can get right back into it. So, how deep? If we were doing a top 10, right? This is still one of the match or top 8. This is still one of the main roster matches of the year, right?
It might be fighting for that 7 or 8.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too.
Maybe, I'd have to go through it. But yeah, man. After that, we had the Bludgeon Brothers destroying the Usos, who finally got on WrestleMania after an electric promo segment with the New Day that inspired our sideline segment. You know, WrestleMania 26, sideline, 27, sideline, 28, sideline, 29, sideline, 30, 31, 32, 33, sideline, WrestleMania 34, our time. And it was like, this is how they treated these dudes. They told them to go in there for 5 minutes and get destroyed by the fucking Bludgeon Brothers.
Yeah, go out there and lay down.
Yeah.
And remember, at Fastlane, the Bludgeon Brothers had one of the great beatdowns in recent memory, where you have the Usos and New Day doing another great Uso and New Day match. Very reminiscent of what was last year, the feud of the year. And then they come out and they beat the hell out of all 5 of them, including the way they laid out Xavier. And it just looked so great. They looked like monsters. And then I feel like they took it too far. And it was disappointing because, you saw the excellence between the New Day and the Usos, and then you throw in the brilliance that is Luke Harper, and you think this is a match that on paper, just like we always talk about on paper when we talk about with Finisher or Finisher every single week, every single month. This is shaping up to be a great card. It's like, dude, you know how much talent WWE has? Every match on paper every card on paper looks great because they are loaded with talent. It's the booking that fucks this up or whatever else. So
learn the lesson.
Yeah, learn this lesson. We've been talking about it for months now, right? So we get to this one, and you're thinking they're going to have one of these. This could be something that rivals the TLCs with the Hardys and Christian and Edge.
This would have been the full get them the fuck out of here. As far as the Usos and the New Day, what they did in the ring was already better than anything those guys have done. But what could have happened was, all right, we'll take your own what you're famous for, the triple threat at WrestleMania, and just blow you out, get you completely the fuck out of here
with wrestling and not crash test stuff. Even though they could have done that too, but any format, any way, shape, or form you want to do it. If you put any of the two of the three of the New Day, plus the 2 Uso brothers, plus Luke Harper in the ring with Eric Rowan who tries as well. If you get out the way and you give it time, it's going to be great. And they decided we're not going to give it time. We're just going to say you guys go over, and then go from there.
Tag team division is just thrown in the bin, to quote my UK brethren.
This was the night that both tag divisions
yes.
I mean we put SmackDown. It put SmackDown Live on in the ICU. Raw just got killed then. It's never recovered since.
Yeah. What's that song? Niggas fell off and you never recovered. That Drake and the Little Baby and Gunna. Yeah, so after that, we had a bunch of fools.
Take Keith did the beat?
Yes, he did.
Of course he did.
Take Keith fucked these niggas up, and fuck these niggas up was the rest of WrestleMania. So, yeah, so after that, we had a bunch of fuckery with Elias. Oh, and John Cena has been sitting in the audience this entire time. And just acting like as a fan. He's cut all these promos leading up to it. He cut 4 on The Undertaker in particular. 2 of them were great. The other 2 were
wacky.
But literally everything else on the card pretty much has John Cena's hand in it, setting it up in some way or fashion. But they decide for him to have this role at WrestleMania. So Elias is out there. He basically comes out there and destroys Elias, fucks him up. Another young guy that people were liking and into. They have him come out here and do his thing. Also, they don't let that dude wrestle. Remember that. Then, he cuts the promo and basically tells Undertaker to bring his ass out. He knows he's here or whatever. Undertaker comes out, and these two have a botch-filled 2-minute and 45-second match that was just an embarrassment to the profession. The 2 of them should have just completely scrubbed the tape. It was just everything I hated about this show was this match.
I don't remember it being necessarily botch filled as much as it was. It's a 3-minute match, and it was just Undertaker's greatest hits, and he got his ass up out of there.
Do you remember that kick that never connected?
No, I'm actually pulling up the number right now as we're doing this podcast. I have to receive this right now.
Yeah,
I'm just out of morbid curiosity. I never thought I had to go back. I never thought I'd go back to watch WrestleMania 34 for any reason other than anything before the Rousey match. But go figure. Here we go.
So these guys came out here, and there was a point where John Cena was doing all this hokey bumping for the Undertaker. He was acting scared. He was running into the big boot, but like not coming close to hitting it at all. It was just bad. Like I think these two, like, this was the full epitome of, wow, the Undertaker's done. He's finished. He doesn't need to do this anymore. And it was like, yo, man, this is how y'all treating John Cena? Are you serious? Like, do y'all want him out the way this badly?
Dude. And this at the same point in time this at a point in time where like he was on TV on a consistent basis and he was still the top, like when he was there, he was still the top merch seller. Like, you can honestly say, like, 2000, from the time he won his last title, is like from Elimination Chamber 2017 on, like, I don't think have they ever treated a top guy worse,
bro?
A legitimate top guy, not we feel like he's a top guy. I mean, like, a legitimate, like, he is a top guy, number one merch seller, like, moves ratings wherever show he's on. House attendance picks up when he's there. It drops when he's not.
I mean, the only thing that I can think of is, the way they treated Bret Hart on the way out when they double crossed him. But
okay, fair enough.
As far as consistent, like, long, like, over a period of time booking, this is why this doesn't happen. All these dudes leave. Like, Austin leaves when you want to do bullshit with him. Hogan leaves. The Rock goes to Hollywood. Like, no, man, you don't do this.
And also, like, Rock never gave a damn about doing a job to nobody, though. So that's another part.
Well, correct, but this was more than doing a job. This was de-emphasis, right? And they never de-emphasized The Rock,
right? And I'm saying, like, but that's also part of like why we are where we are with this company in 50/50 booking. Is like, instead of thinking, oh my God, we landed 20 years ago, we landed The Rock, Vince McMahon, and Steve Austin, and their 3 once in a lifetime acts, and like getting all three of them together at the same time. Like, it's a gigantic, like, fluke. It's an anomaly, and it excuses all of the bullshit booking that we do because we have these three stars. They take it as thinking like their playbook is like fire. And it's like, no, no, not John Calipari. Who's the bad coach? Oh my God, I'm blanking on his name. Just got Louisville, Kentucky, the Knicks, the Celtics.
Rick Pitino.
Like, he was like, oh my, I got this system and it works, and we're gonna press and we're gonna press and press. It's like, no, man, you got Patrick Ewing, use that. Like, that's like, they haven't learned their lessons. Like, they're not Popovich. They don't think like, our system is the offense runs through Tim Duncan and the defense runs through Tim Duncan. They think like, I'm gonna make these little moves here, there, and everything else, and all this shit is gonna work. It's like, no. So anyway, back to the point. Like, they think that they can make another John Cena, when it's like, bitch, y'all been trying 15 years to make another John Cena.
Well,
you ain't learned that you can't do this.
Look, they made like half another John Cena. Like, like they got somebody that will come out there and get booed as a lead babyface. They got that part. But but he doesn't move merch like any more than like AJ Styles. So it's like, okay, cool. Like four WrestleManias in a row, 4 WrestleMania main events in a row, and you're on the A show. This guy's on the show that gets 85% of your audience, no matter what.
And you barely beat him in merchandise.
Yeah, like you supposed to be proud of that? Like, are we supposed to be proud of that? Come on, man.
Look, meanwhile, they're booking you like shit on SmackDown.
So yeah, The Undertaker and John Cena go to hell. After that, we had the return of Daniel Bryan. It's WrestleMania again. New Orleans is going crazy, and then he's attacked before the match. Oh my God, he's back before the match, and they sell it like he's concussed and he ain't gonna be able to fight and all this other shit. And they sit him on the apron for, let's see, it was a 15-minute match. 9 of it was spent on the apron, and Shane McMahon was in there fresh off of a fucking like, what kind of surgery did he have?
No, he didn't have surgery yet. He was waiting to get hernia surgery.
Okay. Yeah, and all this shit. He had the appendix at that point.
Two things at once. So one for sure was a hernia, and then the other one was either an appendix or it was diverticulitis. One of the two. I
take that back. It is diverticulitis.
Yeah.
So, and he does his Shane McMahon punches and everything else. So, and it's just whatever. Like, Dan Bryan comes in, crowd goes nuts. It's like, okay, hell yeah, it's a happy moment. Not really much of a match, more like of an angle, I would say. We got to see Owens or Dan Bryan in there with Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, which would be like kind of like the best wrestlers he would fight on pay-per-view for literally months. So after that, we have Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax in their 10 minutes for the Raw Women's Championship in just a match, literally.
Oh my God! So, as I said, I was going to rewatch this Undertaker match where he squashes Cena. I just got to the part where like he does a fight. He's about to go for choke slam. Cena scrambles out of it, lifts him up and about to give him the "you can't see me." He bounces off the ropes. Undertaker sits up and he ends up rebounding off the ropes. He ends up like falling on the ground in fear. And
flat
then
on his back. Yes.
Undertaker gets up, tombstone or choke slams him. Cena goes way high for the choke slam, and then tombstone out of there.
Squash that man.
Yes. 16-time world champion. Squashed.
Unbelievable. Then we got Nia Jax and Alexa Bliss. I have no real memories of this match except Alexa Bliss probably doing a bunch of stalling.
Match was a bunch of stalling. It was a bunch of Nia gets out the ring and beats the piss out of Mickey. And then like, you know, the match went way longer than it should have. And the match didn't get turned on like I thought it would have, but the match was not good. The best thing you can say about this match is that it wasn't an abomination. Like it was good enough to be mediocre.
A smooth 2 stars from me. Yeah. Like,
it's a flat out 2-star match. Like if I go and look right now at the Meltzer rating for it, and obviously this is no end all be all deal because I disagree with a lot of Meltzer's ratings. For example, he gave Shane versus Kevin Owens Hell in a Cell match a higher rating than the Usos versus New Day Hell in a Cell match. Anyway, they got 2 3/3 stars. 2 3/4. So
gotcha. Then we had AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura, the dream match. The match they've been calling a dream match all throughout this. The rematch of Wrestle Kingdom 10, where they have a classic in the semi-main event there for the IWGP IC belt before they come to WWE. They do this match for the WWE Championship. We think they're going to just completely, kill this shit. And then it just, something seems off the whole time, even when they're making the entrances. Crowd's not into it. It just doesn't connect. I don't know what happens. It's a decently wrestled match. It doesn't ever get to the out of first gear. And we find out at the end of the match that they kind of have this match kind of in half speed to make the heel turn go over like harder at the end of the match, like where Nakamura gives him the low blow and attacks him and fucks him up and walks out, and it's like, I didn't come for this.
Yeah, and also, if the match is fire at the beginning, like this feud had 4 or 5 matches, right?
5 matches, one on TV.
Okay, and the final one actually got to the point where like we all thought it was where all these matches were going to end up being. Problem is it was a last man standing match, so it's almost like that don't even count. So the match goes 20 minutes, And we talked about this. Like, there's a difference between having like a 3-star match or a great match that goes for 10, 12, 15 minutes is always better than a match that's of equal excellence for longer. Say 20 minutes. This match was 20 minutes, and honestly, there was no back and forth segment in this match that felt like what you would expect from an AJ Styles Shinsuke Nakamura match. Like, for example, like the finishing sequence to Nakamura versus Seth Rollins from the last pay-per-view Survivor Series. That's something that was a great and that was great storytelling and flair, and was indicative of what we were expecting out of the WrestleMania match. We never even got that. Like, we got mostly just in third gear,
a longer TV match.
Yeah, it felt like. I mean, it's hard to say that because like AJ and Andrade had some great TV matches. AJ and Daniel Bryan had some great TV matches. Like, this wasn't even like that.
Yeah,
this was like a I don't know. This was almost like two talented guys that are working a match that they know has a fuck finish coming.
Right. It turned out it didn't. They did a clean finish, but the fuckery was to come.
Yeah, and the problem was that it went, but like, it's cool to do that, but like, don't go 20 minutes and then do this. Like, go 12 minutes and then cut it off, or 15 minutes to cut it off and then go from there. Even though 15 minutes is plenty of time for any match, but I'm just saying, like, you didn't have to go that long and then do this to get it over. Like, you could have taken 5 minutes from here and given that to Asuka and Charlotte. You could have taken 5 minutes from that and given that to, or you could have taken those same 5 minutes and given that to the Triple Threat SmackDown tag match. It was just a weird thing.
Yeah, it was so disappointing compared to their Wrestle Kingdom 10 match. If you guys have not seen that, I implore you to go check that out, because that was everything that this one should have been and was not. It was a colossal disappointment on so many levels, and it was just it was really bad. Like, at the time, because we were like, all right, man, pick it up.
Yeah.
What the fuck is happening during this match?
Like, expectations are a real thing. And like, for you to have seen that match before on a big show like before at Wrestle Kingdom, and then to see it here, and it's just like, it pales in comparison. Whereas to just like, why do y'all even bother? It was disappointing. And I remember, I don't know if it was a month, 2 months after WrestleMania, during the time when I wasn't watching, and I ended up like messaging Chad because he had said something on Facebook somewhere, or somewhere, and I ended up messaging him like, have you ever seen their match from Wrestle Kingdom 10, 9, whatever it was? Not 9, 10 or 11. And he said no. And I said to him, you must go see that. You must go see this match. I don't know if he ever did. He never got back to me on it, but like, that match is so far beyond. And I don't even think they necessarily even had to match it. I just want them to get, like, I just want a great match, and I didn't get a great match. I got a really good match, but not a great match. And I think that, I mean, that is saying something about like how high the bar was for them. Like, oh, you guys had a really good match, and you feel just like, ugh. Yeah. Like, this must be how, like, when this must have been what like Shawn Michaels and like other talented guys felt like back then. It was like, okay, there's a lot of pressure on us to come through, because people look at us as like the guys, and then like, you don't come through. Like, that has to like bother you to some extent. Like, I wonder if years from now we'll get some explanation on like their thoughts and feelings on that match.
Probably not. Yeah, man. And then we had Braun Strowman and the fucking kid against Cesaro and Sheamus. Braun Strowman literally picks a child out of the audience, so they have no plan. This is what Braun Strowman's entire year of excellence led to. In retrospect, in hindsight, this is a disaster. This is awful.
You know, we should have known that WrestleMania 34 wasn't going to be bad. Was going to end up being like a complete scam job.
Oh.
Because Jeff Jarrett was in the Hall of Fame. If nothing, we should have known we were going to get scammed. like, oh yeah, look how great the card is from top to bottom. They're like, look how good the bill's been. And it turns out like you get there and it's cloudy, it's not shining right, shit fake.
Yep.
We should have known. Should have known. Jeff Jarrett, of course.
This is just the deconstruction of Braun Strowman. He beats him by himself. It does a hot tag for itself, essentially with the kid. And people just tried to defend this in every ridiculous way possible. I wanted to, give them the open hand slap. Like, like no.
Okay, remind me, correct me if I'm wrong. Like the thing was it's a WrestleMania moment. It's like anything can happen.
Yes,
it's like the Disney World thing where even a kid can get a WrestleMania moment or something like that, or even a kid can be a part of the action and or whatever else. Okay, like, dude. Also, another part about this: how come Nicholas didn't piss his pants in fear?
Yeah. Well, he wasn't staring down a giant.
Was Cesaro in the ring?
Yes.
Nicholas was 8, right? Or 7?
I think he was like 12 or
He's
10.
12? Okay, 12.
I don't know.
Look, man, if a Cesaro end up on you in the street at 10 or 11, you're more likely to piss your pants than former pro wrestler or whatever, manager of the ALP, hanging around these big tough guys, hanging around a bigger guy, grabbing you and goozling you on the neck. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't get how that dude's a pants pisser. I don't get it.
Just terrible. This was like, the reasoning at the time. Oh, this is gonna help Braun Strowman with the kids and all that. I was like, bro, he's already fucking over. He's already the man. Everyone wants to win the world title tonight instead of that other guy. They want him to leave the belt, the arena with this belt tonight. And this was just Braun Strowman getting fucked around and pulled in a million ways, and we're still going to go through it all throughout the year. And it's just like everything is done to move him out the way. And this was a better example. Like, this is just a perfect example. He can't lose, so they put the belt on him, and then he vacates it a day later or whatever, and then the division's just in shambles for the rest of the year. And it's like, y'all had no idea what to do with this guy. This guy was getting so hot throughout the whole year. You had nothing when the time was to come. This is so awful. WrestleMania 34 is just filled with problems.
Yeah. And they compounded, made stuff worse, like the Raw division, for example, by like after the show, like with the decisions on who they moved to where after with the shakeup. It's like you can't move the bar to SmackDown and not have them be replaced by the Usos or the New Day. Like, those are the only 3 tag teams you built.
Yeah.
Like, that was another part of it. It's just like, whatever. Like, let's continue. Let's finish this fucking show.
Yeah, because we're spending so much time on the show. But, I mean, it was WrestleMania, so we do have to kind of, give it the shots, shoot on it. Then we had Brock Lesnar defending the Universal title against Roman Reigns in the preordained main event. And then they fucking beat him just to swerve everybody. And not only did they beat Roman Reigns in the main event of WrestleMania, they busted his fucking head open with the shoot fighter elbows. And it was just them. He kicked out of a comical amount of F5s. They built up the F5 for a year, and no one gave a fuck when he kicked out of that first one. This match was awful. Terrible. Stick it up your ass, Vince McMahon. This was just like, yo. If I can describe the feeling that was just over wrestling and everything like this, when it was like, hold on, man, while the match is going on, before you even get to the finish, like, it's just awful. And then Brock Lesnar keeps the championship. This was a colossal failure on all fronts.
Yeah. Absolutely. And the worst part is, like, on top of that, you're not even, like, accounting for the fact that this was the most, like, rejected match I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, yes, I forgot about that part. It was hijacked all hell.
Like, this was so much worse than WrestleMania 20. So much worse.
Yes. Hijacked all hell, Beach Ball Mania, the wave, tight shots on the action so you can't really see it. People just, entire sections revolting. people just don't want to see either one of these fuckers in the main event. Just fans just tired of this company just doing this and sitting through that show hours and hours and hours like of it building up from the Bludgeon Brothers match to the Undertaker and Cena to Daniel Bryan being stuck on the apron to that average ass Alexa Bliss match to Nakamura and Styles pissing everyone off to Braun Strowman coming out here with a fucking child, and then this was like, yo, Pitfall City, and this was the crowd, and this was like the A side of what the Money in the Bank thing is with Roman Reigns and Jinder Mahal, but this is the A side, and that would be the B side of the record. Essentially, like, this was the most hijacked main event ever. The build was absolutely insane, like, as far as like what they tried to do with it. Yeah.
Okay, so I have now gone to where Ronda puts the armbar on Stephanie right now, and she's tapping out right now. I just pressed pause. The ref just waved it out, right? So I'm looking at time remaining on this WrestleMania show, right? Yeah. That was what I called the unofficial main event, because that's like you go home and that's like the end, and you'd be like, oh, that was a good show. There, after that, from that point where she taps out and the bell rings, Stephanie, there's another 3 hours and 14 minutes of the show.
This is the culmination of that.
That's a whole ass Raw, Rich.
Yep.
It got away from me so fast.
What'd you think of this match?
It's a bad match. Like, the story works if like this.
If it's anybody but Roman Reigns,
the story works in part. Like the story of the build, it works if it's not Roman, right? The match works if it's not a show. The match works a lot better. The match actually has a chance if it's not Roman, if it's somebody else. And the match wasn't good. The way it was laid out, it wasn't good. It was, okay, this guy, I mean, it's a story, but it's not a good story. It's, okay, this guy that has been beating guys
with his one move.
Let me phrase it. This dude has been back since 2012. This dude has been in a bunch of matches. He's won some, he's lost some, he's won most of them. But for the most part, people can't have his move. It's just like anybody else's move. And then for some reason, we decided we're going to try to pretend that like the past 3 years haven't been a thing, and we're going to go a whole year where he's just beating guys left and right one move. And it's actually like the crowd hasn't bought it at any point that like it was actually a legitimate finish when it's ever happened. People have thought like, wait, what the fuck? This is the end. This is all it is. They've treated like the Alexa Bliss DDT, right?
Yeah.
And you're going to get, and they expect us after. The crowd has showed them over and over and over that they don't buy that as a legitimate finish, like the first one anyway. They're going to go to WrestleMania and they're going to have these dudes give each other their finish over and over and over, basically doing a bigger version of the Goldberg match from a year ago, except Goldberg was over as hell and Roman Reigns is over, but he's never been over for a day in his entire solo career. Has been over as over as his push. So we're going to go to here. We're going to have this match again. And it is so vastly inferior to the match they had at WrestleMania 31. Even once you throw away the shit with the crowd or whatever else, because the crowd wasn't with the match at first either at WrestleMania 31. The crowd was just loving Suplex City, and that's where Suplex City got started off, right? WrestleMania 31 in Levi Stadium.
Yep.
Go to here, and they're just going back and forth, literally like spamming finishers, like you know,
spamming and kicking out of finishers, not just hitting them with a bunch of them, kicking out and the whole crowd not giving a fucking booing, and then doing it again and again and again and again, and it's just like
they didn't understand
comedy.
They never understood they never understood like the law of diminishing returns in this. And that's been true throughout the year. Like this whole entire feud was Brock Lesnar going to come out. He's going to be a piece of shit. People don't want to see him. People are going to like the things that Roman says, but they're not going to like the fact that he's a messenger. and they were going to try to get his sympathy on Roman by having him get the piss beat out of him unfairly in these shitty situations, and Roman and Brock's gonna get booed, and then we're going to get more heat, and then they take it too far, and he comes back and beats him again, and then all of a sudden it turns into the cross change one more time because at the end of the day, whatever you say, whatever happens, the guy, the fans and the fans in general do not rock with his character or where he's been positioned. So regardless of all the other shit, that's always gonna be the problem where people always gonna come back to this dude is in a spot we don't want him at. They don't care. They're gonna keep doing this, and that's fine, whatever. But if you don't want your WrestleManias to get booed out the building, or you feel like you felt you had to put all this creative energy into getting this guy not booed for once, maybe you should pick another fucking guy. I don't know. But they bust his head wide open and like thinking like, you know, if the crowd's still with it, then him getting busted open, he'll give him a shot, and then they just beat him. And for me, it's like, okay, let's say they were going for trying to get him to fight, and then he gets his big comeback, similar to the WrestleMania 31 match, and he's bleeding all over the place. That's a cool idea. Really cool idea, right? Let's say the crowd was with it. The crowd would have really been into that blood, right? If they were into him as a character, they would have been into that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Right. But for you to, even in paper, right, if it goes where you want to go, why the fuck would you beat him? What? This dude's bleeding like a stuck pig. He's sticking up for the company. He's sticking up for himself. He's sticking up for the wrestlers in the back. He's sticking up on behalf of the fans because this dude's an asshole in storyline. And he's fighting. He's fighting his life because this dude's quote unquote shot on him. And what is this fake fucking wrestling match?
Yes, this is so ridiculous. This is such a terrible match.
And then he beats him with his fucking wrestling move.
Yes,
in the middle of the ring. So it's like, what even is this? Even if this went the way you wanted to, you still would have pissed off the fans because the crowd would have got behind him, and then you beat him.
He was never over enough to, in Vince's eyes, for them to do it on that stage.
Then pick another guy, because this is the fourth try.
Yep. Fully there, and unfortunately, extenuating circumstances has made it to where they have to pick someone else at this point. But from all accounts, they were going to just roll with it again. So it was going to be, what it was going to be for WrestleMania 35. But that's neither here or there. But yeah, this was the end of just one of the most disappointing. It was a disappointing match, disappointing night. This was a WrestleMania that it ran James off for months, and it just like had me looking at this whole promotion like these people don't know what they're doing. And then it only got worse throughout the year. So greatest Royal Rumble. We'll go through that real quick. John Cena and Triple H have just a house show match, and for no storyline, no nothing. They're just announced and they're there. Obviously, we got, Saudi Arabia, all that stuff. We're not going to get into all that right now. But obviously, you guys know the issues with that. Those issues from the first show also carried over to the second show, but in even more.
Go through the archive. We got plenty on it. Like, if you just got to know what our thoughts are on it right now, go through the archive.
Yeah. Cedric Alexander and Kalisto. This was actually a pretty good match. Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy beat Cesaro and Sheamus. Just a nothing match. Jeff Hardy and Jinder Mahal, which may have been one of the worst professional wrestling matches I've ever seen. And Jeff Hardy was defending the U.S. title. They were bumping without doing moves and all this other stuff. It was weird. The Bludgeon Brothers destroyed the Usos in about 5 minutes. Match between Rollins, Balor, Joe, and Miz.
Hold on, bro. Jeff Hardy and Jinder got half a star?
Yes, bro. It was horrible.
Is that like the worst? Is that like the worst rating for any like men's match on the main roster in that like since we've been back wrestling?
Might be. I know. No, the Randy Orton and Jinder Mahal got a half a star as well. In the Punjabi prison.
Okay, I thought that got like a quarter. I thought that got like 3/4 of a star. Okay.
I believe it might. I don't know. You have to check on that. I know I gave it -1. I was like, get that shit the fuck off my screen. Like, so Rollins won the ladder match. He defended the Intercontinental title against Balor, Joe, and Miz. Pretty cool match. AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura, 14 minutes, double count out. Fuck Finish City. Continues with that feud, and
was that the double ball kick?
That was just the double count out.
Ah,
so
got to build some double dick kick. Gotcha.
Yes. And then the Undertaker defeated Rusev in a casket match. So just bury him, like fuck him, like.
Okay, so I just looked. The Punjabi prison match actually got 3/4. They actually got 3/4. So yeah,
gotcha.
So that Jeff Hardy gender match is actually like the worst match.
My God.
Like on pay-per-view since we've got back to watching wrestling, yes.
Awful. Then I want you to look up the star rating for the Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns steel cage match on this show.
1 star.
Yes, and that's what I would have given the WrestleMania match too. I think I might have gave that like 0. No. I think I gave this one 0 stars. I think.
Okay.
No. I gave 0 stars to Strowman and Roman in the Hell in a Cell. That's what I gave 0 stars to.
My God.
Like complete dud. Yeah. Then Brock Lesnar retained the championship after getting speared out of the cage. Even though they botched the finish and Roman's feet were out first. But yeah, that match was nothing. It was horrible. House show style. And then Braun Strowman won the 50-man Greatest Royal Rumble. Daniel Bryan went 75 minutes. And this was like, oh, Daniel Bryan's back. Like, for real. They trust this guy to wrestle all this time. You know? But it was a decent show to watch. It wasn't anything like... It didn't make me feel as bad as WrestleMania 34. I'll say that. Because I didn't admittedly have high expectation for this. But now it's time to get to it. God. The next show lived up to its name, WWE Backlash. And this show was not only bad, this was terrible, an abomination, a damn abortion of a show. This show was so bad that it crashed the servers on F4W.com. This show was so bad that people were leaving in the middle of the main event. This show was so bad that the collective internet got together and shat on it so bad the FDS was in silence. This show was that bad. This was like, bro.
Okay. So I've never watched this show. I've only heard bad things about it, and I've heard the reviews about it. People talk about it as one of the worst pay-per-views of all time in WWE. So I am looking at the Pro Fight DB, and it has the ratings on it, the Meltzer ratings. As we said, I got to say this every single time so people get off my back about it. Meltzer ratings aren't the end all be all. They're just a reference point, if you will.
They're pretty damn good for the most part.
I mean, whatever. It's reference point. Like, look, if you disagree with him on a full star, then like, I mean, it better be. It can't. You better not be disagreeing with him like that often by a whole star, right?
Right.
On a few occasions, you might want to disagree by half a star. Like, but anyway, whatever. So, there are 9 matches on this card. 9 matches, including the dark match. 6 of them are rated 2 stars or below.
Unbelievable. They had the nerve to put this show on pay-per-view. This was their big, we're not they had all these songs and all the pay-per-view stuff talking about the dual branded show, and it was just supposed to be just this deep ass card. We got Seth Rollins and The Miz and an awesome opener, right? After that, this show went into the abyss. Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax botching everything in sight during this match. Jeff Hardy and Randy Orton just mailing it the fuck in, doing nothing. Daniel Bryan and Big Cass going 7 minutes, where Daniel Bryan has to like show this motherfucker how to take the yes lock. Like, it's ridiculous. And it went 7. This was Daniel Bryan's return to pay-per-view singles action, and this is what they did with him. Carmella and Charlotte literally throwing women's wrestling into the shitter further with those Alexa Bliss and Carmella being champion at the same time, burying women's wrestling in WWE. She kicked Charlotte in the leg and pins her. It was terrible. AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura not being given the main event, even though they're the WWE Championship match with no Universal title on the card, and it ends in a double dick kick. And the thing is, everyone say, "Well, you don't want to end a pay per view like that." Well, then don't do the fucking finish. It's fake. It's like you can change it. Like,
the best part about it is the match was no disqualification.
Yes.
And the finish was that they were both disqualified because they could not continue.
This was terrible. This was just like them all on the same show, just having all these terrible matches back to back to back to back. And then they do that draw. And then they do a tag team match with Bobby Lashley and Braun Strowman teaming up, who they clearly have no idea what to do with, against Owens and Zayn. They had whooped their ass for weeks on TV and then just did it on pay-per-view the same way.
Was this before or after the Porta Potty deal?
I think this was after. I think.
Okay. So, like, Braun is the babyface. He's flat out bullying this fucking guy, and he's, like, ruining his rental to get from town to town as well. So, great. Cool story, guys.
Then just the terrible main event of Roman Reigns and Samoa Joe, where they decide to have Joe jump him before the match, which actually had the crowd lit. And then after that, they decided Samoa Joe should put him in a chin lock for literally 9 or 10 minutes of the match as people were filing out of there, hijacking the match, leaving early. Just like the one thing Roman Reigns always had was his pay-per-view matches would tend to be good. Then they took that away just to try to get him cheered. Like, just to have these wrestlers do these things in these matches just to grind it to a complete halt. This was bullshit. This entire show should be scrubbed from the WWE network. This show, like, you should, like, literally, if you go back and watch this, like, you must be a sadist. Like, this is just a show so bad. This was like, it was transplanted from the year 1995.
Oh,
like,
so just to take off from your point about how bad the show is. So you have been raving to me for months, for the last, 6 months about the opener with Miz and Rollins. And from what I can tell, it's one of the 3 or 4 best matches on the main roster this year. It's a match of the year contender, a legitimate match of the year contender. It could win. It could very well be the best match you've seen this year. I haven't gone back to watch it. I haven't even. Nope. No, thank you. I have no reason to go back and watch it. Why? Because I might fuck around and my remote right here can fuck around and die. And the battery's not working. Now I'm stuck having to watch the rest of the thing. I'm going to go back into the back of my the electric. Oh my god, I can't talk. My power strip and unplug the TV so I don't have to watch the rest of it. So yeah. Like it was a complete failure on all ends, and also it was like immediately after you just finish it up with 3 hours of garbage on WrestleMania, on the biggest show of the year. You decide to, once you have all these guys together, and you're selling the fact that like we're doing co-branded pay-per-views and all this hoopla, you go out there and you shit the bed, like
several times. And this is the first like real shitting of
why
the bed.
should anybody that's a long-term fan of this company, after the last 2 years you've given them, why should they have any faith in you?
Yes. And this was like, it crashed the site for Wrestling Observer. They had to get new servers following this. It was so bad. People wanted to know what the fuck happened. How could this go on the air? It was either this or Battleground of 2017 was the worst pay-per-view of this decade. Maybe ever.
And that involved the Punjabi prison.
Correct. Like, if this was just regular old wrestling, like, at least they had an excuse. Like, yeah, a Punjabi prison match, yeah, it's probably gonna suck. But this is like, nah, bruh. That Reigns Samoa Joe match, that was a terrible main event. So many excuses and everything I heard. I was just tired of it all. This show was terrible. This was at this point, it was like, yo, where are the great matches this year? Where are the moments this year? What's defining this show? Fuck finishes and bad wrestling. That's what's defining this show.
I think by the time I came back in August, right before SummerSlam, I went through the list of all the 4-star, all the matches that were awarded 4 stars or higher, and remembering like 2016, and was thinking to myself like, bro, like Sami Zayn alone by himself in 2016 had more 5-star or more 4-star matches than the WWE's entire main roster the first 8 months of the year. What is going on? Or 7 months and 2 weeks. It's like, what's going on? I don't get it. Like, why is it so hard? I don't understand. And there is no excuse for them not to have a banger on every single pay-per-view, or at least 2 on every single pay-per-view, because they are hoarding talent. They are hoarding the world's best talent, and they're getting more people like brought in every single year. There's no excuse for them to not have good or not have matches with, talented people perform at a high level together at the same time. Like, this isn't like the moon aligning. Like, this should be things that happen often. It's so frustrating. Very frustrating.
Oh, yeah. So enough about Backlash 2018. Fuck that card. We got into Money in the Bank 2018. So
a good pay-per-view.
Yeah, like a better pay-per-view, but still problems up and down this bitch.
They went basically from Royal Rumble. You had Elimination Chamber, you had Fastlane, you had WrestleMania, you had Greatest Royal Rumble, and you had Backlash. They went 5 pay-per-views between. They had 5 pay-per-views that weren't good between 2 good ones. It's weird.
I don't even know if you really want to go for this show like that. Like, and once we start getting into it, like, there's things on the show that are decent, and then there's 4
really good matches on this card.
But there's also terrible ones that match up with it that affected things like they never have before.
All right, well, let's go through it and we can talk about it.
All right. So Daniel Bryan and Big Cass, I think I like this match a lot more than most people do. Cass actually kind of showed like somewhat of a move set.
You realized he was on the bubble.
What's up?
You realized he was on the bubble.
Yeah. And Daniel Bryan, like, all the credit to him for, like, also accepting the challenge with this guy. Like, for me, I think Meltzer gave this 2 3/4. Yeah, I was way higher on this match than he was. But
it did go 15 minutes.
Yeah.
That's a long time for Big Cash.
Yeah. So after that, Bobby Lashley and Sami Zayn, absolute nothing match. I think that would be the last time we saw Sami Zayn before he was out of here on the meat wagon. Yeah, Seth Rollins and Elias, which is decent.
Isn't this the best Elias match? Because
This is the best Elias match to date.
Okay, so I went back and watched pay-per-view after people raved to me about how good how much better this year's ladder match was for the women, the Money in the Bank match. How good Ronda versus Nia was, and also the fact that people were like, Rollins may have gotten like a really good match, or not maybe, got a really good match out of Elias. So I went back and watched this match, the show, and also like the final AJ and Nakamura match. Like, that was clearly the best match. Like, it was the first match I would be like, oh yeah, those two had a 4-star match or 4-star level match. So, like for me, like I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh, this is a good card. Like maybe people would have been like,
when you watch it in the moment and all this stuff is happening and it's all spread out, right? Like, and it's like, bro, they have no idea how to structure a card and make it feel like all the good stuff happens. This is why we get these disagreements where, like, if James goes back and picks through this and watches what he heard was good, it's like, no, bro, you did not see it the way it was laid out in order and all this stuff. This show was like, I cannot call this a good show. Like, it's just like,
I mean, there's Austin Carmella sitting smack down in the middle of this thing, so yeah,
just setting women's wrestling back, years out here. So after that, we had the Money in the Bank women's match where Sasha Banks was a star, where Becky Lynch was a star. Everybody wanted her to win. Charlotte was doing cool shit. Ember Moon was doing raw shit. Lana wasn't a train wreck. Naomi was being athletic. Natalya was in the right place at the right time. And we had Alexa Bliss laying outside on the fucking concrete on the other side doing nothing through the whole match. Hiding, doing nothing, stinking it up like normal. Then she fucking wins the thing.
Of course.
All the other women busting their ass, whatever. They don't get to shine, because they don't have yellow hair. Well, Charlotte does, but the rest of them don't. Well, Natalya too, but whatever. Lana, but
they look. Let's just backtrack. They pick who they want for this shit.
Yeah, they pick dudes for this shit.
It is not a meritocracy.
Yeah. Then Roman Reigns and Jinder Mahal. My God, this one may. This fucking match. This was we want him to go to Chicago. We don't want Roman Reigns boo, so we'll put him in there with Jinder Mahal, who everyone fucking hates. They haven't got the picture that they'll just boo both of them and they will hijack this fucker. Like, this was also one of the most hijacked matches I've ever seen. And they let this shit go 15 minutes, James. And it was like, why are you going 15 minutes on pay-per-view with Jinder Mahal?
15:39. Why would they do that? I don't.
Bro, this match here had like the thing about WrestleMania, right? And the hijacking was you had that big stadium. So you might be able to watch the match and not exactly understand the level of hijacking that was going on, right?
Okay.
But you got all of that in this small Allstate arena. They did not come to play around. They came to stick Jinder Mahal's 2017 up the WWE's ass. They came to stick Roman Reigns and his continued path to the WrestleMania main event up their ass. Their fuck ass.
Up their ass like.
Yeah, like this crowd came and said, "How fucking dare you bring these two people to our town and make them fight each other? Chicago, the best wrestling town in the country. How dare you do this to us?" And that's what the fuck they fucking deserve that. Like, and this was for Roman Reigns and Jinder Mahal. This was for all those pay-per-views James talked about. That came to root. The chickens came home to roost, like Malcolm X used to say on this shit. And it was like,
Malcolm X.
Yes, they fucking. And then the beauty of this, right, is once this match was over, the crowd went right back to fucking normal after that.
Oh my God, I can't.
This match was an abomination. It was terrible. It was Jinder Mahal being on paper, Roman Reigns selling for Jinder Mahal, and just like the most over person in the match was Sunil Singh. Have you ever watched this match, James?
No, I skipped through this.
Please. I beg of you, please watch this match. It is hilarious. Just to watch what this crowd does. I hope they haven't cleaned up the audio. I hope they've tried to forget that the match exists, because I will not forget that it exists. I will go back and look at these motherfuckers like, y'all really expected this to work? Y'all are slow. Between me and you, I think them boys kind of slow. It's just like, fuck.
Okay, so what else is on this card?
So
after that, oh my God, Carmella
and Asuka, yes, setting the women's division back to the Divas era. And this was when I was just so mad about, like, I was just burying both women's champions and both women's belts left and right. Now on the solo podcast I was doing, just absolutely throw them in the bin. And after that, we got the last man standing match for the WWE Championship, where the last 10 minutes were good, and then everything else was just, standard last man standing tropes. And by the time that they finally got the crowd into it, the feud was over. Like, and they had wrestled for 5 times at this point, and we didn't give a fuck by that time. And they went 31 minutes on this, James, and they did not get the main event. So we had Ronda Rousey and Nia Jax. This was the surprise of the year. we expected Nia Jax to come out here and stank this shit up, and this was Nia being the champion, and Rousey, I remember writing at the time, fuck it, just put it on her. Like, y'all ain't doing shit else with these belts anyway. Like, just fucking do it. Like, and then they have Alexa fucking Bliss cash in at the end of this, which inspired probably my best work of the year with the Alexa Bliss rant. I was infuriated that we just could not stop putting the belt back on this non-wrestling, unbelievable, over-pushed wrestler in Alexa Bliss to set up this Ronda Rousey Alexa Bliss thing, you know, over the summer or whatever. And then they have to do their fake kayfabe suspension to take Ronda off TV. The match between Rousey and Nia was really good. It was them putting Ronda in there to compensate for her inexperience in the match. We'll just put her in there with a giant that hits really hard. Like, we'll just do that. Like, that's kind of what happened here. And it was really surprising. And she could sell and it not be looked at like a joke because Nia is so big, you know, compared to Ronda. And this was like, I thought this was a surprise. And this was like, well, we don't have to worry about Ronda Rousey in the ring. Like, if she gets a chance to practice, like, we don't have to worry about her.
Right. Yeah. I remember I wasn't watching, and I remember like the Social Suplex messenger group. Like, we use it almost like a Slack, and it was blowing up about how awesome that match was and how impressed people were with Ronda and her selling and everything, and like they were so shocked because it was Nia and everything, that, like, you know, that was like the first time since that WrestleMania where I actually like, damn, I wish I actually was watching wrestling right now. That was the first time, like the first and honestly the only time that I had been gone where I actually like felt like I actually missed something. So that was one of the first things I did when I got back into was watch that show, and I was like, I see what everybody was talking about. And it's like, you see that and you're just like, fuck it. Like, she needs to be main eventing WrestleMania next year. So yeah, like that was one of those like, you knocked this one out the park. Congratulations, everybody. The way y'all put this together, like, that was ingenious until you get to the, you know, the Alexa part.
Yeah, they cashed it in.
But like, you get to the part where she's breaking through her trying to block the arm bar to right where she's about to break free or put it slapping on. Like, that was a great job up until you start doing your, you know, undeserving person is going to win the title deal that you always do.
Then we got Braun Strowman winning the Money in the Bank to keep him out of the SummerSlam main event, which ended up being another way to fuck Braun Strowman with the Money in the Bank briefcase. Because why? He did not get to participate in the qualifying matches because he could cash in whenever the fuck he wanted. That's what it ended up being. Kevin Owens took a crazy ass bump. Kofi Kingston was in the match. Bobby Roode, Kevin Owens, Rusev, Samoa Joe, and Miz. A lot of people wanted Miz to win the Money in the Bank. Was not meant to be.
Definitely would have made sense for Miz to win because, like, if he fits the criteria. He's this scumball of a heel that is quote unquote opportunistic and is not really somebody that can go toe to toe with the actual top guys. He needs an advantage, and that would have been a perfect thing for him.
And I think this pay-per-view exposed how long in the tooth the Money in the Bank concept is, and the ideas of what you can actually do with it. Like, because if the Miz would have won, right, he would have been what number guy to do that? Like, do some new shit. Like, this was like, all right, just fucking give it to Strowman. Like, he doesn't really need it to get him to the next level or anything. But they did Alexa's cash in right away, and then Strowman shit essentially ended up in a straight up challenge. They have no creative ideas for the briefcase anymore.
Well, I think the thing is that their picks for the winners in the last few years have been uninspired. So like, it's cool that Braun Strowman won Money in the Bank, and it's cool to add to his like career resumes because like we're adding to a guy
shit else.
We're adding to a guy that's like on pace to be a Hall of Famer, and that's cool. But like, he's the number 2 guy on the brand, at worst number 2 guy on the brand, so he doesn't fucking need the briefcase. Like the same thing when like John Cena shows up or Randy or somebody else shows up that's one of the actual real legitimate stars of the brand. It's like, why does this person need this? He's a legitimate star. All he needs to do is really come out and ask for a title shot, and then for the commissioner or GM to be like, well, John Cena is actually John Cena. He shouldn't get a title shot because he's John Cena. That's where we've reached with Strowman. So like, he didn't really need that. But then like, the year before when they gave it to Corbin, and Corbin was a fucking dumpster fire.
Yes.
2016. I remember who was 2016 Money in the Bank winner. Was that that was Ambrose captured in the same night, right? In the same way that Alexa did. 2015.
Sheamus
was a terrible pick. So like, we really haven't had like a legitimate like fresh act that and it felt like we were on to something with him since Seth. Like, that was 2014. That's a long ass time.
That's what I think. Like the concept needs to be revamped or something. Like they've got to or scrap that shit. Like,
or you book these NXT guys right or well, and then like you put it on one of them dudes.
Right. Like at this point, Andrade Cien Almas like has not been like seen like.
Yeah, right. You know who should probably win it if we were like, all right, well, guys that could possibly be called up NXT. Adam Cole should win the fucking thing. Adam Cole ain't gonna win it. Wonder why? Because Adam Cole's small, so he's never gonna do it. But like, in theory, if he's small, he has 3 other small guys with him, and they're actually trying to plot together. Like, it should work, but they're not gonna do it like that because Vince hates factions and singles guys, except for like, the Shield.
The Shield, yeah. Yeah, but that was Money in the Bank. The last pay-per-view that we're going to be talking about today is Extreme Rules. Yeah, the final, and it's just like this show here was in, I think, Pittsburgh. Yeah, started with the B fucking team, James, defeating Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy to win the tag team championships.
Is this Roman Reigns versus Bobby Lashley?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes. One of Bobby Lashley's few redeemable moments of the year. I won't lie.
He has redeemable moments.
This is it. Like Michael Jackson, this is it. Carmella. Previously, James Ellsworth had came back to help her, and then she had the match with Asuka, where James Ellsworth was in the shark cage. I was suspended above the ring. All of a sudden, he was in the ring. And being pulled down. This match went 5 minutes and 25 seconds, and it ended with Asuka being shoved into the cage by Carmella, and Carmella winning. This was more fodder for me just to be infuriated with the women's division, because also there was a terrible Alexa Bliss match later in this. So it was the Alexa Bliss, Carmella concurrent title reigns of doom, just killing like literal 2 black holes on each pay-per-view in spots that I had come to enjoy in 2016 and some of 2017. But after that, Shinsuke Nakamura and Jeff Hardy. Nakamura is a full heel at this point. Obviously, when you fight for the world title and you don't win, the next thing you do is fight for the secondary championship. He wins in a squash against Jeff Hardy. Then Randy Orton, who hasn't been seen in months, comes back and starts targeting Jeff Hardy. After it looks like a swerve, like he's going to go after Nakamura, he decides to RKO Jeff Hardy, kick him in the dick several times. And kicking in the dick has just been done in this promotion through much of the fucking year by a million people just to make sure.
Years, bro. Like, this has been going on since like Undertaker tried to turn heel on Lesnar in 2015. Like, AJ Styles won his first WWE title by dick kicking Ambrose. And then, like, ever since then, it's been following AJ throughout his whole career, and ever since that point with dick kicks. It's so it's going to the well way too many times.
All right, I'm back. What I miss?
Oh, it was me basically saying like they've been doing this ever since 2015 when Undertaker tried to turn heel on Lesnar.
Oh yeah.
With dick kicks, and like it's also AJ won his first WWE title by dick kicking Ambrose, and like you look through AJ's WWE or like his tenure on pay-per-view, like since that moment, and like it's been riddled with dick kicks. Like it's basically them going to the well way too many times with this one thing. It's like it's okay to do that, like maybe a handful of times throughout the year, maybe, and I mean like on all of television, all the pay-per-view. I don't mean like doing it on 5 different pay-per-view finishes with the same fucking guy. Like, and that's what they've done. That's what they did with AJ this year.
Yep. Kevin Owens died for all of our sins and got thrown off the steel cage by Braun Strowman in one of the most dangerous moments in WWE this year. So
he barely got enough of that table. Barely.
The vaunted WWE safe style.
It wasn't this like a week or two after Hiromu broke his neck.
Yes, it was a bad night for everybody that was saying all this New Japan stuff. You know, like that was a botched wrestling move that could happen to anybody.
Yes, that was two guys in the middle of a classic match, and one guy got tired and actually dropped the guy on his head. This is you guys decided that we're going to have this 200. We're going to have this fat guy that weighs 260, 280 pounds get thrown off of a table with no safety net, nothing in case, you know, to break the fall or cushion anything, and you know, a foot further, and it could have been a tragedy.
Yeah, Kevin Owens just making Braun Strowman look like a fucking like killer.
And it was for nothing because the babyface threw him off. He won, or so Owens won, but then the babyface laughed it off as, "Ha, there's your winner. That fucking guy that's about to get carted off because I almost killed him. Ha ha."
Yeah. Then the Bludgeon Brothers defeated Team Hell No, which never should have been reunited. Go through the archives to hear how I snapped off for 10 full minutes the night that they put these guys back together. The next show, I came out guns blazing on WWE because I had even gone as far as to write a column to help them out to say, hey, it's okay for Daniel Bryan to lose matches sometimes. Like, it's fine. Like, it's not like Daniel Bryan had gone undefeated when he went all the way up to the top, right? But then they decided to put Team Hell No back together. And I'm like, this was like the first colossal misstep, which ended up resulting in Daniel Bryan having to ask to be turned heel. This was it. So Kane's like limping throughout the match in a fucking boot or whatever, not doing anything. And Daniel Bryan is the one to take the pin, essentially, from the Bludgeon Brothers. So obviously you're not going to belt those guys up. Then we got Bobby Lashley and Roman Reigns. Decent match. I would probably say about 3.5, maybe. Roman does a clean job for Bobby Lashley. So at this point, all the throw you off misdirection booking is in play and all that, right? Mm-hmm. You know, they got Braun Strowman with the briefcase, Roman Reigns getting beat on pay-per-view, fighting Jinder Mahal 1 month, going with Bobby Lashley. Roman Reigns cleans all that up in the next couple weeks. He comes back, beats Bobby Lashley, wins all the qualifying matches. And at that time, Strowman chooses not to, you know, be in the qualifying matches because he has the Money in the Bank briefcase. And I was calling it at the time. I actually put out a YouTube video that says, is Braun Strowman about to get screwed? It didn't play out exactly as I thought, but what ended up happening was Braun Strowman being screwed. So it just took another way to get there. But the writing was on the wall kind of at this point. Alexa and Nia have a terrible Extreme Rules match filled with just smoke and mirrors and cartoon-like interference with Mickie James and Natalya and just Rousey. And it was just complete, like, Alexa and I can't be trusted to come out here and have a match. They're going to have all the gimmicks, weapons, and, you know, she's going to go over her at the end. AJ Styles defeated Rusev on about a 15-minute match. I would probably say 3.75, maybe 4 stars if you're really generous. Not the main event, WWE Championship. The main event is the Iron Man match for the Intercontinental Championship, literally getting double the time that AJ Styles got. 30 minutes. Dolph Ziggler defeating Seth Rollins 5-4, where they did all those falls in a row at the beginning of the match. And the crowd counted down the buzzer on each of those. And it was just like, bro, they laid this out so weird.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but okay, so for the history of Iron Man matches, War Games, you always set up to where if there's a heel face dynamic, the heel has the lead. Hot tag, same thing. The idea is the heels have the advantage, and so you get the crowd into it by pulling for the baby face to overcome by the end of the show, by the end of the match or whatever else, and then we go from there, right?
Right.
So Seth started out like what, 3-0 or 4-0?
Yeah. He was up 3-0. Seth Rollins blew a 3-0 lead.
Okay, so from there, just starting from that point forward, why was anyone supposed to respect this match? I've heard people say that you guys shitted on Roman and you shitted on Roman, and now Roman's on the main event and you shit on Seth now, so you guys are shitty fans now.
One, it's fucking July. This is a pay-per-view that doesn't matter.
Well, my thing is, if you're going to give us some shit to not even, like, be able to follow because it's so fucking dumb, then, like, people don't want to, it's on you for people to go out there and decide to cheer to get them and make the crowd put them own selves over because they want to have some enjoyment on the night and you ain't giving it to them. Like, who on earth would have who thought that was a good idea to have the babyface go up 3-0? Why would that be a good idea? What possible story can you tell from that perspective that would actually be compelling? To have the babyface have come from behind,
the choke.
The choke base, flat out choke. Like, it's just stupid.
Yeah.
You watched it. I always thought it was
as far as the shitty fans thing, that I think that's just, you know, projecting Roman Reigns' failures onto everyone else. But as far as like Rollins and Ziggler, this was like such a disappointment. This was like this match was not good. This was like a 3-star match. This is probably, they had 15 matches, right, this year. This is one of the lower end ones. The ones they had a couple on TV leading up to this were better. This was fucking weird in every sense of the word. So as far as the falls, they did 9 falls in a 30-minute match, right? So there was a turnbuckle powerbomb and a La Magistral for Rollins, then the stomp, then the attack by Drew McIntyre. It was like, this is stupid. And they made it comedy at the beginning, like what are y'all doing? And then the crowd looks up and is like, we're going to start fucking counting down because, like you said, they fucked us all night or whatever. And just, you know, we watched this shitty show and we're going to entertain ourselves. Since y'all ain't going to do the work, we're going to do the work for y'all. So they take off the damn clock. You know, Seth Rollins is sensitive, you know, the way the crowd, you know, weird shit happens in his matches or whatever, right?
Yep, and Finn Balor.
Yeah, with Finn Balor. Like, so he goes on Twitter the next day and was like, he's disappointed and all this other shit. I'm like, fam, speak up next time. Like, tell them to get the fuck out of the way to let you and Ziggler have the match rather than overrun it with ridiculous falls that no one would ever lose on, to run it over with all the interference with Drew McIntyre, who was banned from the ring and then comes back out in the overtime and all that shit. It's just like, this match was just, it was overbooked to hell.
Got a question.
Yeah.
When McIntyre came back out in overtime, did the ref see it?
McIntyre appeared and distracted him. So
Distracted the ref?
He distracted Rollins, but he didn't technically interfere.
But if you're banned from ringside,
right. Yeah, exactly. This match was awful. As we close here, with the first half, this was a horrible year on pay-per-view, and we've still got part 2 to go. Part 2 should be a little bit better.
Part 2 is going to be way better than this.
And
the only thing to bitch about really is like the main events. Evolution's on the back half of this.
Yeah. WrestleMania was wholly underwhelming. Backlash was probably the lowest of the low. Extreme Rules was not great. Money in the Bank, for the everything they did good, they have something equally as bad to balance it out. Fastlane and Elimination Chamber were nothing predictable shows. Royal Rumble was great. And looking at it is just a company that has less and less respect for the audience every month. And I think the audience has less respect for the company every month. And it's just like this war between, and I would call it a war, but war's end, between Vince McMahon and us, and, people trying to excuse WWE for these things when there are no excuses to be made, because we have all this proof, all this evidence, all this retrospect to put all this stuff back together and find out who was really right about a lot of this stuff. Is just like, we are constantly disappointed by this company because they are overrun with heat. They get too cute. They don't take what is given to them. They throw baby faces in the shitter, and they just completely marginalize a lot of people. And then they wonder why their chosen ones get like rebelled against, because we don't choose them. Like, this is really easy to figure out. You take what the crowd wants and you work it. You dangle it. You just don't say, hey, the crowd, what you want, fuck that. We're gonna just throw them out of fucking Royal Rumbles and Battle Royals like geeks, and then we're gonna do what the fuck we want over here and just expect everyone to be cool with it. This is not the age anymore of people just taking it and sitting and watching these shows and just taking what they're given. And honestly, I don't know when the fuck that era was, James, because in the Attitude Era, what would people have done? Let them the fuck know if some shit wasn't right. Like,
in the Attitude Era, Roman Reigns would have turned heel and been babyface by now, been one of the hottest things in the company history by now. And they decided, no, we're just gonna keep trudging along like fucking morons.
Yeah, and this all coincides with them getting these new TV deals that make them feel like what they're doing is correct. And what's happening is they are fracturing the trust with their fans to make them reject the product on levels like we haven't seen. They had a show, they had a quarter where they lost money on house shows this year. They have literally less people watching Monday Night Raw in the ratings like being reported than any other time. I don't want to hear shit about your YouTube clips or anything like that. They're not watching the show. That's what we're saying. So this first half of the year is just it's so bad on pay-per-view. And then you don't even want to talk about the TV because the TV is the TV. Like, a lot of the stuff on pay-per-view and TV don't tend to match up. And it just felt really empty watching a lot of these shows after the Royal Rumble.
I'm sorry?
I said after the Royal Rumble, it just felt really empty watching a lot of these shows because it's nothing that we are clamoring for. And if we are, they fuck it up like Styles and Nakamura.
Yes.
Or Ziggler and Rollins.
Yeah, it's I was reading the page, what's it, the famous page in that Larry Madison book, about excuses and what and like and how that shit is a crutch and flat out like if you didn't do a good job, or if your show sucked, or your shows suck, or you don't have enough stars or whatever else, and then like people don't tune in or people don't come to your shows, people aren't attending house shows. It's not the weather. It's not because there's not because the baseball team is having a home stand. It's not because the weather's too nice. It's not because the weather's too bad. It's because you're not putting out anything. You're not putting out a good enough product, or you don't have enough stars, or you suck at making stars. And to paraphrase like that, to apply it to this, like flat straight up, like they've done too much bullshit on these pay-per-views especially the first half of this year, and they have done nothing in the way of star building in any real way, aside for like one guy over the last like 4 years, in Strowman, and that ain't good enough. And they're gonna have to get better about this and actually try to be creative and think outside the box. Stop doing the same shit they've been doing for the last 20 fucking years, because all the lessons they've learned from all the bad lessons and bad habits they picked up over the last 20 years, because they had they had Rock, Austin, and McMahon. They think that like that's the formula, when in case like no, those three drew in spite of the bullshit you were doing around the card. Like nobody really gave a fuck about Val Venis trying to fuck Miss Yamaguchi-san. That's not a thing. That wasn't a thing.
Hello,
like,
ladies.
Yeah. Like that was not the heat in these streets. Sorry to tell you, but it wasn't. It was, you had three top guys at the same time, and one of them didn't even wrestle.
Yeah. I think that's a good place to leave it. We've gone on and on and on, and these.
How long is the show going?
This is pretty long. I've got like 2 hours at least, 2:12 maybe. So yeah, we way over on budget. But yeah, that's gonna wrap up the first half of these shows. The other one will be a pre-recorded show. Will be on the Lords of Pain Radio Network, which will drop the week. We would normally do like the Christmas show for that, but we're not going to cover SmackDown's Christmas and Raw's Christmas week because we anticipate it being bullshit. So from us to you, we are going to give you part 2 of these awards over on that feed. So make sure you guys subscribe over there. And if you hear this, from there and you came to check out part 1, thank you for listening to this. But make sure you guys check out all the other shows on the Social Suplex Podcast Network. Keeping It Strong Style with Jeremy and Josh. They still have their New Japan Award voting going on. The Outsider's Edge with Rance and Kyle. And then also the Ricky and Clive Wrestling podcast, as well as I think there's one more. Grown Men Watch This Shit. And we have a new podcast starting soon, which will be revealed to you guys shortly. James, anything about this before you want to wrap this shit up?
Nothing. Like, we just had like a 2-hour conversation about the first half pay-per-views from this year in the main roster. And I only watched 3 of them live when they actually aired. And honestly, aside from Money in the Bank and the top the hot matches on that show, like I have no inclination to go back and watch any of that bullshit. Backlash, no thank you. Extreme Rules, no thank you. Greatest Royal Rumble, no thank you. So, like,
hey, watch that Roman Reigns and Jinder Mahal match just to see how bad they hijacked it. That's the only thing I'll tell you.
I'm sorry, sir. I'm not a masochist. I'm not into pain. I'm not sitting through that. Like,
not pain. Look, it's not paying for you. This is the company. Like, this is just an outright. Look, you would have respected it had you seen it live.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
That's what you believe. I would have been like, this is trash. Look how they're shitting on this match.
You would have been like, well, they earned it.
Okay. Oh boy.
Yeah. But that's going to wrap it up.
On that one.
Yeah. That's going to wrap it up. Thank you guys for watching and also listening. So for James, this is Rich. We're out of here. Peace.
Later.